In the prophecy, we know that there's an angel of the Lord with a pillar of fire and a cloud of smoke, and there's a rainbow overhead as a sign of a promise. And this is all because of a foreshadow of a promise to come that was given long ago, and the signs that allude to this through the book of Exodus, and the Exodus that occurred before, and the Exodus that is to come. In Exodus chapter 14, verse 9, it says, "And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went up before their face and stood behind them." And that angel that helped in the Exodus is seen in the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 10, verse 1. "And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. And his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. And this angel lifts up his hands to heaven and swears by him who lives forever and ever." Revelation chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. "And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven, and the things that are therein are, and the earth, and the things that are therein are, and the sea, and the things that which are therein, that there should be time no longer." And the angel seen with the pillars of fire and the cloud and the rainbow talks about there being a time and a time no more. And this angel is identified through knowing what happened in the book of Daniel. Because this angel, who swears by heaven, who has clothed with a cloud and pillars of fire and a rainbow over his head, swears that there's a time no more should be waited for and delayed. Because it's talking about a prophecy of the old. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, it says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." And we see at the time of the delivering of this promise that at that time there's an angel that raises his hand towards heaven in Daniel chapter 12, verse 7. "And I heard the man clothed with linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swear by him that liveth forever and ever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished." So what is it talking about here with the time, times, and a half a time? He's referring to the time of the 1260 days of the deliverance. And this is written and found in the prophecy of the end times. During the time of the Exodus, there was an angel of the Lord that helped them go into the wilderness. And this angel that is mentioned in the book of Daniel is reflective of the angel in the book of Revelation chapter 10, where he talks about that there will be no more time to wait. At that time of the fulfillment of the book of Revelation, those 1260 days will begin. And that's the time and times and a half of a time that is mentioned in the book of Revelation chapter 12. Michael was also prophesied that he would help deliver the people out of Persia. And before the people of Israel came back into Jerusalem, Michael stood up with the prince of Persia, and then the people went back into Jerusalem. So we know there's a prophetic foreshadow of what's to come in the time of the Exodus of Egypt, time of Persia as two witnesses, and a time of a third witness account to confirm that in the book of Revelation chapter 10. Where there's the angel stands up that is promised, and there will be another Exodus. Daniel chapter 10, verse 1 says, "In the 3rd year of Cyrus king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belshazzar, and the thing was true, but the time appointed was long, and he understood the thing, and had understanding of the vision." And it is at the end of this chapter that you see that Michael's referred to in contending with the prince of Persia. And we see this as the praying for the deliverance of the people, where they'll be returned back into Israel to build the second temple. Daniel chapter 10, verse 20 through 21. "Then said he, Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia, and when I have gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come. But I will show thee that which is noted in the scripture of truth, and there is none that holdeth with me in these things, but Michael your prince. It is then, when Cyrus comes, that Israel is permitted to go back into the land of Israel. The exodus out of Persia into Israel by the power of Michael helping deliver the people. And this is the same angel that delivered the people in the Exodus. With the pillar of fire and the cloud of smoke, the angel of the Lord, and the rainbow that is over his head, which is a sign of the promise that he will come again to deliver the people. This is the covenant of God and the promise that he will deliver the people. The sign of the covenant, the rainbow over the head. And it is out of Egypt, again, the Exodus occurs. Revelation chapter 11, verse 8 explains that to us. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So we know that the Lord was crucified in Jerusalem. And the Exodus out of this spiritual Egypt, again, where the angel with the pillar of fire and the cloud will help Exodus at that time. That the angel who swore by heaven, who him lives forever and ever, that there be no more time left. And what time is that ready? The time that's written in the book of Daniel. The time, times, and half a time. And we know that term is used in the book of Revelation about the next Exodus in Revelation chapter 12. And it says, And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. This is the 1,260 days, which is 42 months. 3.5 years, which is 3 years and a half, a time, times, and half a time, would be 1 and 2 and half. That's 3.5 times, which is talking about the time of a year. So it would be 3.5 years. And Daniel talks about this in Daniel chapter 12, verse 7. Again, it says, And I heard a man clothed with linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and sware by him that liveth forever and ever, that it shall be for a time, times, and a half. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. And here we see that fulfillment. When Michael stands up and there's a war in heaven. And at that time, we end up seeing the same time the delivery of God's people. In Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, it says, And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. So we know that when Michael came and contended for the deliverance of God's people out of Persia, he came and contended with what? The king of Persia. And then the people were set free, right? Well, the devil has the people in bondage in Jerusalem. And Michael stands up against the prince of Jerusalem, which is Satan. He stands up against the prince of Persia, just like he did in the old time. He stands up and contends with the devil. And then the people of God, they go on an exodus by the power of that promise. That promise of the angel with the pillar of fire and a cloud, the rainbow over his head. That time, times, and a half a time. And that those people flee from the face of the serpent. We see that in Exodus terminology in Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time from the face of the serpent. So this is the same Exodus that is promised. The angel that helps this is Michael, who stands up against the devil. The people of God are exodused out and flee from the face of the devil. The devil's angry about that. And that period of that time, that space, is a time, times, and half a time. The same prophetic fulfillment in the book of Daniel chapter 12. And we see the eagle's wings for this as all stories of what happened during the time of Exodus. Exodus chapter 19, verse 4 says, You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself. This is the same 2 eagle's wings that is given to the woman that goes into the wilderness. Just like the things that are stated about the Exodus in Exodus chapter 19, verse 4. This is talking about the prophecy of the Exodus to come. Again, with Michael the angel helping with the pillar of fire and and a cloud, smoke, to help them on the exodus out of Egypt into the wilderness, just like Michael stood up against the prince of Persia and the people were exodus out to Jerusalem. Michael stands up against the devil and the people exodus out into the wilderness for that times and half a time from the face of the serpent that Michael stood up against. And that is the promise that is given in the book of Daniel chapter 12. And on that last exodus, the people were given stones with names written on them, and they were given manna during the time of Egypt and Moses. And this is prophetic foreshadow of what's to come in the end. In Exodus chapter 16 it says, "And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 years until they came to a land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan." And the children of Israel were given stones, not just manna when they were in the wilderness, but they were given stones with a name engraved on it and a banner to identify who they were. Exodus chapter 29 verse 14 says, "And the stones were according to the names of the children of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engraving of a signet, every one with his name according to the 12 tribes." And in the end times, we have the banner, we have the stone with the engraving, and we have the manna promised by Christ. In the book of Revelation, it explains this. In Revelation chapter 2 verse 17 it says, "And he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it." And we have that promise. We have that stone, and the promise that is given with that rainbow, that sign, the sign of the promise, that Michael will stand up and help deliver the people during that time of a times, and half a time, which is that 42 months of the end times of that promise. And this is what is written in Revelation chapter 10 verse 1. "And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head. And his face as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire." This rainbow is a sign of the promise of God that Michael will stand up and help deliver the people. He's also promised us the manna and the stone to help us on that exodus, to gather us under one stone with a name on it, for one kingdom, for one king. And this is the prophecy of the pillar of fire.